He harms no living thing. The master cannot be violent. He can only be love, pure love. He cannot harm. It is impossible. Why? Many religions have been teaching non-violence. Buddha does not teach non-violence. Again, it is a byproduct, a consequence of being a master. He does not say be non-violent so that you can be a master. He says be a master so that you can be non-violent. That's where he differs from ordinary religious thinking. He brings a very extraordinary insight of tremendous import. If you can understand his insight, you would have understood the essential core of real religion. If you practice non-violence, you will remain violent. At the most, your surface will become non-violent. You will paint it in beautiful colors. But behind it, behind all those rainbow colors, you will be the same person, the same violent person. Why violence exists in man? Because we can't see ourselves as part of a universe. We see ourselves as separate. In that separation is violence. If I am separate from everybody else, then of course I have to fight for my own survival. Charles Darwin says life is a struggle. A struggle to survive. And only the fittest survive. So you have to fight tooth and nail. You have to fight with your total energy. Only then you can survive. Otherwise you will be eaten, destroyed. And if you look outside, it seems so. Politics proves Charles Darwin. Everybody is fighting with everybody else. And how you can be non-violent if you are continuously fighting? Man is so cunning that he can change, transform his non-violence also in a weapon. He can make a weapon out of it. He can start fighting non-violently. I have heard a story. A young man, a Gandhian, a follower of Mahatma Gandhi, was in love with a woman. The father was very much against. The woman herself was very much against the man. She hated even to see his face. But he was determined. He was a man of willpower. And he was very non-violent. So he did a non-violent trick. He went to the woman's house, sat on the door, and declared that he will fast unto death unless she marries him. Very non-violent method. Fasting unto death. You are not harming anybody. That's what Mahatma Gandhi was doing his whole life. Fasting unto death. But is it non-violence? It is violence, pure violence. Of course, you are not destroying the other. You are destroying yourself. But the threat that I will destroy myself is a threat of violence. And you leave the other absolutely undefended. The woman was very much perturbed, disturbed, what to do. If this man dies, she will feel her whole life guilty that she has been the cause of the death of a young man. The father was very much disturbed. And newspapers were talking and praising the young man, that how non-violent he is, how Gandhian he is. The father was getting crazy, what to do, what not to do. Somebody suggested that you inquire some older Gandhian, some method must be there, some antidote. He went to an old Gandhian. He said, no, don't be worried. I know. You do one thing, a very simple thing. He whispered a secret in his ears. And the father was very happy, and the trick worked. The old Gandhian said to him, you go to an old prostitute I know. You tell her to come to your house, sit by the side of the young man, and let her declare that I am fasting unto death unless this young man marries me. And that very night the young man escaped and was never seen again. Non-violence in the hands of politicians is bound to become violent. It is only a beautiful name for an ugly phenomenon. This is not Buddha's approach. Although Gandhians go on declaring that Gandhi is the greatest non-violent man after Gautam Buddha, he is not. He has no understanding of Buddha and his insight. He is pure and simple a politician. His politics is also very subtle. His politics is very cunning, devious, but he is not religious at all. His whole approach is political. If you practice non-violence, and he practiced his whole life, non-violence will be false. It cannot be practiced. Anything non-violence, wisdom, silence, love, compassion, joy, nothing of these beautiful qualities can be practiced. If you practice them, you falsify them. They come on their own. All that you need to do is to be more and more aware. On the tree of awareness, many flowers bloom. The flower of love, the flower of truth, the flower of compassion, the flower of non-violence. Why? Because the more you become aware, the less you can believe in the separation. The more you are aware, the less you are an ego. When you become totally aware, you disappear. You become part and parcel of the whole. Then how you can be violent? To whom? There is nobody else. With whom you are going to fight? Violence is not the question at all. There is nobody else to fight with. It is all oneness. This whole universe is one God. We are part of it. Seeing it, knowing it, realizing it, compassion, love starts flowing. He harms no living thing. And yet it is not good conduct. Remember these words, their import, their significance. They are very pregnant. And yet it is not good conduct. Remember, Buddha is saying, I am not talking about good conduct.